Joining us now is Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Mr. Lutnick, thank you.
It is great to be here.
It's great to see you. So I would just say, you know, stock markets go up and down for many reasons. We can't divine that. First of all, you're in the thick of the trade discussion. Tell us how you interpret or what the president's logic is in making today's decisions on Canada, Mexico, and China.
So we talked to Canada and Mexico and said, look, you got to close the border and you got to end this illegal immigration. It's enough is enough. If you respect us as your best trading partner, end it. And you've got to end fentanyl. And the way we're going to describe fentanyl is very simple. Autopsied American deaths. They got to end. They just got to end. I don't want to hear you talk about it. I want Americans to stop being murdered by opioids and fentanyl. And so they did a nice job on the border to start, but the fentanyl deaths are just not declining in the way we expected. So what do you think the president's going to do? He's going to come out today angry that Americans are still being killed. Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because you know he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more, and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow. So somewhere in the middle will likely be the outcome. The president moving with the Canadians and Mexicans, but not all the way.
Just to clarify, you mentioned an announcement tomorrow. Less than 25%, or how would you characterize this announcement?
Well, I think he's going to think about USMCA. He's got people in USMCA, you know, people in who are backing the way he set trade up in his first term, and those people outside of it. So he's really looking carefully at that, trying to figure out, is there a way in there that he can come in the middle where he'll give the Canadians and Mexicans something, but they've got to do more. They've got to end fentanyl death. You can't just say, it's okay, people can die. That is just not a thing.
Well, of course not. You're 100%, and so is he. So the point here, as I understand, and again, just trying to clarify, if they make additional progress to President's satisfaction or your satisfaction, what the tariffs might not be across-the-board tariffs. There might be exemptions for the tariffs. You mentioned USMCA, which was a very complicated deal that was put together in the first term. You think some things might be exempt from the tariffs, or how would you explain that?
I think the best way to explain it is there's a trade deal that the president set in his first term called U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, right? And if you live under those rules, then the president is considering giving you relief if you live under those rules. And if you haven't lived under those rules, well, then you got to pay the tariff. And the concept of China saying, what kind of war is this? It's a drug war. It's not a trade war. It's not a tariff war. They still are giving maximum subsidies to producing the ingredients for opioids that are killing Americans. So I tell you what, they are thumbing their nose at the president. You know how that goes. You thumb your nose at this president, you are going to get something back big and strong that says stop it. And that's what he's doing with China right now, and they've got to stop it. Remember, 2019...
I was at the table.
Remember, they said they were going to end it.
Buenos Aires, at the G20 meeting, at the table, the first thing President Trump asked Xi Jinping was to call for capital punishment on anything to do with fentanyl or other drugs. And Xi Jinping, without batting an eye, said yes. And he never did.
And he never did.
Never did.
So how about he does that right now, and then we make this tariff thing
no
something
relief,
of the past?
No relief is in store for China.
No, unless they do it. Like, they stop it, and then if they stop it, then we talk about April 2nd, which is what? Reciprocal tariffs. Fairness. 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 We get ripped off everywhere. Holy moly, if you saw how badly we get ripped off in this world. Finally, Donald Trump is saying, look, I just want fairness. You charge us, we charge you. How could you argue with that? I don't understand how anyone could argue with it. You want to bring them down? Bring them down. But if you want to keep them up, what do you expect us to do?
So April 2nd, the reciprocal tariff policy kicks in. Could see some changes with respect to Canada and China, Canada and Mexico. Could.
Of course you will.
Right.
You'll see them then because, I'll give you an example. Canada has a 5% sales tax. Now, what is that? That's just being sneaky. How about dairy products? I mean, talk about our dairy farmers, right? 200% on milk and milk products. And you say, what? What? I thought there was USMCA. Yeah, there's USMCA with a lot of cheating on the side. So I love when Trudeau, who's about to leave the government, and obviously he should leave the government with his kind of talking, he's leaving the government. Hopefully they'll elect someone who's clever, who comes down and says to Donald Trump, we want to do business with you. We want to do business fairly, and we're going to get rid of all this nonsense. They got a digital tax in Canada. They try to tax our tech companies. What happened to USMCA? I tell you what happened to it. The Canadians like to cheat.
Oh my goodness! So April 2nd is going to be the next big date in this. That's what you're suggesting.
That's right.
We don't know how, what, when, and what, but it's going to be the next.
Now you know why he
date.
picked April 2nd, because he didn't want to pick April 1st. He didn't want people talking about it was April Fool's Day.
Okay.
So he went to April 2nd.
Last one, tonight's State of the Union message or whatever it's called. We're going to get some good tax cuts. I want to unleash prosperity, Howard Lutnick.
You're exactly right. So he's going to cut no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. You know that's what he's going to deliver. But here's the key. We and his administration are going to balance the budget of the United States of America.
Oh.
Everybody makes fun of us. They say, oh, it can never happen. Oh, Lutnick, he's got enthusiasm, but he's not going to deliver. I tell you, for Donald Trump, we are going to deliver. We have the gold card.
Yeah.
Right?
Gold card's a hot item, by the way. The gold. Well, how
it's
much
amazing.
is it? How much? What is it?
$5 million gives you a fast path to citizenship. It's pretty darn cool. You've got that. You've got all these tariffs coming in. You got waste, fraud, and abuse coming out. Think about this. We got $4 trillion in entitlements, and no one's ever cut it. You know what that means? We're going to pay every single person who deserves Social Security. They get the money. Everybody deserves Medicaid and Medicare, gets the money. But everybody whose grandfather died and is still getting Social Security, give me a break.
You have to have a pulse check. That's
No,
what
that's
Elon
it.
called.
You have to be alive and
pulse
kicking.
check in order
And that's
to get
what,
one.
think about what Elon Musk is doing. He's saying, how about you email me and show me you got a pulse check if you're working for the government? Imagine complaining about that. Imagine the Democrats saying, I can't stand the fact he's asking people we're paying with our money whether they actually come to work and
I've
work.
known you 3 decades plus, and you always do deliver, Secretary Howard Lutnick. Thank you for coming on the show.
I'd be betting on Donald Trump.
Good
Boy,
luck
would
this
I be
evening.
betting on him.
Indeed. All right.